Hello everyone, my name is Anna, and on my channel you can find reviews on various crypto projects ranging from an ordinary coin to an entire metaverse with many features. And now, more specifically, let's take a closer look at it. FlaskCapital, the decentralized chemical currency formulated to continually produce sustainable growth for all holders. Flask created by a small community of developers and researchers with the goal of providing a sustainable and community-driven alternative to traditional VC-backed projects. The project has no ICO, no pre-mine and no whales. The supply of a Flask token will be initially distributed to the community via an IDO. The project will be built on the standards set by open-source projects such as a Compound and Market DAO. The DAO. A DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization that cooperates according to transparent rules encoded on the blockchain, eliminating the need for a centralized administrative entity. Organization structure. The DAO will have a hierarchical structure with three different types of members: contributors, people who have contributed to the project in some way. Currently, this is done via our core team GitHub repository. In the future, it may be done via a voting process on the Avalanche network. Advisors, people who have been invited to advise the DAO on specific topics. Community members, anyone who wants to join the DAO and participate in its governance. Funding. The DAO will be funded by a percentage of the Flask tokens minted during the bonding process via the payout per bond mechanism that will go to the DAO. This funding will be used to pay for development, marketing and other expenses incurred by the DAO. Governance framework. Starting off, the DAO will use a centralized bootstrap approach in order to speed up the development process. As the project matures, the DAO will slowly transition to a decentralized governance model. The eventual goal is to have a fully decentralized DAO that is governed by the community. And now let's look at the mechanism of work. Staking. Swaps between Flask and S-Flask during staking and unstaking are always handled one-to-one. The amount of Flask deposited into the staking contract will always result in the same amount of S-Flask, and the amount of S-Flask withdrawn from the staking contract will always result in the same amount of Flask. Bonding. Flask has an intrinsic value of 1 DAI, which is roughly the equivalent of $1. In order to make a profit from bonding, FlaskCapital charges a premium for each bond. Flask supply. Flask supply growth with Flask stakers plus Flask bonders plus Flask DAO plus Flask P-Flask exercise. Flask supply doesn't have a hard cap, its supply increases when Flask is minted and distributed to the stakers. Flask is minted for the bonder, this happens whenever someone purchases a bond. Flask is minted for the DAO, this happens whenever someone purchases a bond. The DAO gets the same number of Flask as the bonder. Flask is minted for the team investors advisors of the DAO, this happens whenever the aforementioned party exercises the P-Flask. The team has perfectly distributed its plans for the quarters of a year. I think that all of them will be carried out clearly and on time. In the near future, KYC verification for the team and audit report on the verification of a product as well as betting V2 and bonding V2 are planned. But the main thing is that the pre-sale of a product will take place on 7th, 8th and 9th of May. And the playlist is already open. Therefore, if you didn't have time to participate in the first round of pre-sale, this will be a great opportunity to join the project since its potential is huge. And of course, don't forget to follow the media resources so as not to miss interesting news about innovations and changes. Well, here we are done with project. I think he has a great future ahead of him, since such a concept is strikingly different from most. Thank you for watching me and actively suggesting projects for the next reviews. Bye bye!